Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Find a Way podcast with Dusty. Hopefully, you're doing well on your journey. This is I Want to Run Part 3. Our 101 part. I Want to Run Part 3. In Part 1, we went over specifically. Sorry, I'm backing up, and somebody was backing up too. We went into part 1, as far as just starting to run, what that process looks like, the incorporation of walking and intervals more than just straight running. And then part 2, we talked about shoes and how to approach shoes and what's the best way to approach starting running and how many shoes, what shoes and what kind. This one in particular is going to be about what you wear on your wrist. What you wear on your wrist, the watch of choice. Now, I'm somebody that started my journey with the Apple Watch, and everything revolved around the Apple Watch. I didn't see any need to go anywhere else because it had a running app. It was like the Nike Apple collaboration. So Nike has a running app, which has a lot of great programs on it, as well as it's got the incorporation with the watch. And so I thought this was the latest, greatest, and best thing out there, simply because of the ignorance of not knowing what else is out there. And when I started running at 350 pounds, everything was based, my workouts in the gym, my running, everything was based on what the Apple Watch was telling me. Now, lo and behold, after doing research, after talking to some running community members, a lot of folks that have been running for quite a while, that Apple is one of the more distant when it comes to accuracy in regards to distance, calories burned, heart rates. Even the Nike Run app and its incorporation will show a lot less than what is. Apple, unfortunately, and you would think with how much cash they have on hand and how big of a company they are, how they are actually not as good as your Coros or your Garmin. I myself have a Garmin, and I actually got this for Christmas as just a random gift. Hey, try this out. There's a lot of features, a lot of great features with the Apple Watch. The incorporation with iMessage, especially if you have an iPhone, and the alerts, and just there's a lot of features with it. And if you're a tech person, I could totally get it. And the Apple Watch could be an option for you if you're more features based. From an accuracy perspective, you're definitely going to see a lot better of an understanding of how you're running, especially if you want to make running your like, maybe weightlifting is going to be your thing. Maybe CrossFit's going to be your thing. Maybe circuit, HIIT training. Depending on what your thing is going to be, should really center around what kind of wearable you should have. Really, because, and I think about the Samsung watch. I haven't really looked into the Samsung and how it merges with Android. But if I'm someone that just wants to track how many calories I'm doing in the gym, just lifting weights, maybe doing the treadmill, the stair machine, it's not going to be as run focused, where the need for a Garmin is going to, or a Coros is going to be needed, when a general exercise calorie tracker would be, like an Apple Watch would be fine. But if your thing is going to be running, I'm going to get better at my 5K, 10K. I want to run a marathon. I want to be a half marathoner. I want to run multiple. You're going to have to go with something that's going to measure you a little bit better. And I'll tell you one thing that my watch has now. I have the Forerunner 55. I had the Forerunner 45. But the 55 has a race predictor. And it's actually pretty accurate. It's pretty spot on, and it goes hand in hand with your training as well as your VO2 max. It kind of goes hand in hand with what both of those are. And because of its accuracy, you can really train towards a goal a lot better. Like, I want to do a sub 2-hour marathon. Okay, you're going to do a lot better with a Garmin or a Coros versus an Apple Watch. I went with the generic marathon training plan for the most part, and there was so much more that I needed to do that I really felt like the Apple's training program was just to finish a marathon, not to go for a sub 4-hour marathon like I was trying to. And so I should have really gotten into the training plan of what a more experienced run watch, run program should have provided me. So with the Garmin, you don't have to, there's some real frills out there. There's a Fenix, there's really expensive ones. If you're just looking to get some basic good information, as well as being able to control your music, being able to see all kinds, like on my watch face, which was similar to my Forerunner 45, Garmin Forerunner 45, I've got the date, sunset, sunrise, sunset, temperature outside, the temperature today, the battery percentage, the steps today, the step goal, my total miles, my heart rate currently, the time, and whether I have a message or not, all on one screen, which is just fantastic. Here's also something that really made me move over to Garmin just for training purposes. I had to charge my Apple Watch every night, overnight, for it to be in a position to last me through the whole day. I charge my Garmin watch every 5 days, maybe even 6 if I don't use it as much. The battery life is fantastic. And especially if you're looking at tracking your sleep, because sleep is one of the real integral parts of training, recovery, and getting better is sleep. Well, how can I track my sleep if I'm not wearing my wearable overnight? So that was the really, really big thing of moving over to Garmin as well, even including like Coros, a lot of these watches that have a long battery life, is that you can wear it when you sleep and it can monitor what your resting heart rate is, what your sleep is. So when it comes to a wearable, I want to run, consider a Garmin. I want to run, consider a Coros. Consider a run-focused watch. And they're not too expensive. You can find them on crazy deals. Honestly, we're coming up on Black Friday. You might be able to get a killer deal for Black Friday. And, I think about Fitbit. I had Fitbit for walking and for steps, but I didn't feel like it had enough for it to really support my my running journey. So I would say confidently, if you want to move towards, I want to be a runner, definitely going towards more of a Garmin. And the important piece is to constantly turn your watch on for your workouts. I oftentimes forget to turn. You've got to allow it to calibrate to who you are and your ways of doing things. So constantly using it during runs, during general workouts, they have a bunch of different, not just runs, but if you're doing a stair climbing workout, it has a bunch of different features like that. But the reason I mention that as well is using it more and more, it's going to start adapting to who you are. It's going to start adapting to kind of your ways of doing things. And that's going to really help customize kind of what plans you should do to get better and how you get better. I know with the wearable watch that I have, like, I sometimes get more notifications than I want, like my garage opens. Okay, went to my watch. I got to clear it before I start my run. It's usually in the morning when I walk out of the garage. But definitely a watch, as far as part 3, would be a recommendation on getting a good wearable and allowing it to really guide you on what your current pace is, what your time, just allowing it to figure you out. So that way you can figure it out to get faster and to be a better runner and to be faster and to improve your VO2 max and know what your resting heart rate is. I would definitely go towards more a running watch. My recommendation would be start with a Garmin 45, Forerunner 45, move up to a 55. And if you become a very serious runner, consider the Coros or one of the Fenix Garmin brands that have a lot more features, race predictors, marathon training programs, all that good stuff. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that assists on part 3, and I look forward to sharing on future parts on different things on the journey of running. So we're one step closer. Part 3 in the books. See ya.